Meow, it's a meow meow. Eric and horror story. Meow meow meow. I don't want to do this. Let me go. Damn it.
Meow 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 meow. Hello there. Are you thinking I'm wearing a silly cat thing on my head? Meow! Of course not! Welcome to Eric and Horror Stories. If you couldn't guess already, this week's episode is about black cats. So this week's episode isn't about my black cat, who's currently terrorizing the room here, although he was kind of the inspiration for this episode. Okay, go destroy things. Last week at the end, I did say we were going to talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show today. However, not quite ready to do that episode like I thought I was. That will be in a couple weeks, I promise. But this week we're discussing black cats, so let's not pussyfoot around. How many puns are we going to have? I don't know right meow. Black cats are probably one of the most ubiquitous, recognizable things of Halloween imagery, especially for kids nowadays. You see black cat things everywhere. Cutesy little black cats you can put on your door, little black cat figurines, all kinds of stuff for black cats. And black cats are the symbols of all kinds of things now. And we'll talk about all that today on Eric and Horror Stories, as I'll learn you some about some black cats that maybe you didn't know. And then you can whisker away with all this information. Make sure you keep tabbies on where you are in this week's episode. Tabbies, get it? Speaking of tabbies, those are important to this because the black cat actually occurs when the solid recessive gene overrides the tabby cat gene, because more cats are tabby than solid colored. Also, 22 different breeds of cat can actually have a black cat, including the Bombay breed, which is exclusively black cats. Black cats are more often male than female, such as Mr. Hyde is not Mrs. Hyde, and the high melanin content in black cats causes them to mostly have yellow or gold eyes, such as this demon right here. What is that? Anyway, more often yellow or gold eyes. And now that we've covered a few fun factoids about black cats and their creation, we're all really here for superstition and mythology, right? Right! Let's get to it right meow! Black cats and superstition go hand in hand, basically as long as there have been hands. Now, almost every culture, it seems like, especially back in the day, had a different view of the black cat. In Egypt, of course, they were basically considered gods. You've probably seen Egyptian black cat statues and all that. Very highly regarded, pretty much worshipped in Egypt. Celtic, Scottish, Welsh, Japanese cultures historically all revered the black cat and saw it in a positive fashion. It was a good old Western culture, of course, the people that muck up everything, that gave the black cat kind of a bad reputation. In England in particular, at some point in time, they started associating the black cat with evil, bad luck, witches, shapeshifters. Basically, the assumption that a witch would shift into a cat form and do evil things, and also that communication with the devil could be done through the black cat, which of course was viewed dimly by folks back then, folks who may have not had an incredible amount of brain cells to rub together. There was also stuff like if a black cat walked onto your ship gonna sink. If a lady owned a black cat, she would have many callers, which, is that bad? Where are all my callers, Mr. Hyde? Hey, you hear the ladies? Go let him in. He's not interested. Things got really bad for the black cat due to the Pilgrims and Puritans, and things got really bad for a lot of people due to those folks, right? But black cats were rounded up, killed, burned, all kinds of awful things because of the crazy beliefs those folks had. And it actually backfired on them somewhat. The rat populations got out of control in some areas, and the plague spread more than maybe it would have if there were more cats. So, freaking cat killers, get what you deserve. So we won't get too bogged down in the history there. That was a pretty good amount of information, really. Fast forward through time to today, things have gotten a lot better for the black cat. Obviously, people aren't so ignorant about things and have realized they're not witches or devils or anything like that. Although, you saw Mr. Hyde terrorizing his sister every day. You may disagree a little bit. But yes, the cats are viewed better now. However, numbers still lag behind for black cats being adopted compared to other cats. And there's some silly reasons for that, apparently. One hypothesis is that black cats don't photograph as well as other cats. They show up kind of black, in your picture. And people want a lovely pet they can show off in beautiful pictures. So supposedly people actually don't adopt black cats sometimes for that reason. Maybe some people are still a little scared of them. I don't know. All I know is black cats do deserve the love other cats do. Shelters are sometimes reluctant to adopt them around Halloween time, as there's these kind of legends that satanic rituals and all this stuff, and people do bad things to black cats around that time. However, in my research for this video, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily as true as people think it is. While there may have been some isolated, publicized incidents about that kind of stuff happening, I don't know that it really happens that much like people think it does. And of course, if it happens at all, it's awful. But the really awful thing is if they don't let black cats be adopted for, say, a month or so around Halloween, the numbers actually pile up and those cats probably end up getting destroyed. That's probably actually worse than the very small percentage of bad other things that could happen to the cat. So hopefully that gets looked at in the future for perhaps not being something necessary to continue. There is a Cat Appreciation Day. I believe Black Cat Appreciation Day is August 17th for some reason. I don't recall why. And sometimes they get adopted for free on Friday the 13th, which I think is pretty cool as well. And please, out there, if you don't adopt a black cat, adopt a cat, any kind of cat. But if there is a black cat when you're trying to adopt one, there may be a higher chance he doesn't get the love, or she. So make sure you take that into consideration when choosing your little pussy pal. A few more things on black cats. Their adoption numbers did increase somewhat due to the Sabrina television show and the Black Panther movie, and a lot of names associated with that shows given to those animals. And the black cat is a famous symbol, as I mentioned earlier. You find it in anarchist imagery. It's associated with sabotage, a lot of political stuff. There's black cat fireworks. There's black cat imagery everywhere. For how dim the black cat has been viewed in some circles over time, it certainly gets love pretty much more than any other colored cat in terms of advertising and all that kind of stuff. So I do obviously have a black cat. The first cat I ever had, pretty much when I was born into having this cat, was named Dolly. She was a black cat. She lived almost 17 years, I believe. Wonderful cat. And I don't think I've had another one until Mr. Hyde, who I got a couple months ago. So very happy to have them. Again, adopt a cat if you can, if you want one. Don't use a kitten mill or anything like that. It's better to go to a shelter, or you're probably not going to find one like Mr. Hyde came to me if you didn't see the video I did about him. My daughter discovered him under her car hood on her battery after she had come home from work. He had ridden along with her under there. So he's very lucky to be alive. People that say black cats are unlucky, well, he's lucky, at least for himself. So love me some Mr. Hyde. He'll probably be showing up in all kinds of future videos here. Next week on Eric and Horror Story, it's going to kind of just do a brief update, check in on how things are going on the show. I'm a little crunched for time right now, honestly, on getting some of these done, and I have some stuff coming up. But I'm still going to crank these out every week. So next week, I kind of want some information from you. So I'm going to do a quick little where we stand, State of the Union address on Eric and Horror Stories. And get some opinions from you, hopefully, and get ready to rock on with another several months of crazy episodes. And as I sign off this week, I just want to make clear my personal view on black cats is they are indeed evil and of the devil, and there's no better example of that than... Oh, he was so excited by all this talk, he's plain tuckered out. See you next week. Now, 22 different breeds of cats can be black, including the Bombay breed, which is exclusively black.
You listen to me, right meow! Right meow! This week is all about meow meow meowersons. He's angry.
Black cat 9 lives, short days, long nights, living on the edge, not afraid to die. Heartbeat real strong, but not for long. Better watch your step or you're gonna die.